What's up guys and welcome back to Anime Symbol, and today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto was betrayed and his true self locked away. Remember to get this one too 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, I indeed have 4 more channels. All the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And also, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was the first Osusuke to ever exist over on Anime King 2. Link will be down in the description, so go ahead, check it out, and yeah, enjoy. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post, because I do post a lot. So without further ado or wasting any more time, how about we jump right into this? Begin now guys. So the last part that we left off, it was on the bridge. Naruto had just watched Sasuke cut down right in front of his eyes. That caused him to be consumed by rage and hatred, therefore awakening the power of the fox. However, something unusual happened in that very moment. All the seals and confinements that were on Naruto broke. Yes, it wasn't just the 9-tailed seal that was on him. There were others. Many others. They finally broke as Naruto tried to recollect what happened. However, the bridge fighting came to an end when Zabuza saw Gato and his people arrive. That led between a fight of all of them joining forces and scaring off the others. Haku knew that something was wrong. Haku had met Naruto within the forest, but now, looking at him was like looking at a completely different person. It was his eyes. That was not the same person. Haku had no earthly idea what happened in the short amount of time, but something did happen, and they should be very careful around whoever this was. Naruto remained his idiotic self. Well, he tried to act the part despite how angry he felt. The bridge was named after him because of him giving hope to Inari and Inari giving hope to the others. Sakura had mistakenly hit Naruto. Well, not mistaken on her part. Naruto had to grab his hand as he almost slapped her across the face, just to show how much he has changed. Upon returning back to the village, Hiruzen had been keeping an eye on Naruto for some time now. Yes, because of what happened in the past. It turns out that Naruto found out about who his parents were. However, there was more. It was his skills, his intelligence. Naruto had learned the transformation jutsu when he was just 6 years old. Naruto was insanely smart. His mind was shocking to most. Naruto had paid Inoichi several visits, where Inoichi had tested boy's mental fortitude on Hiruzen's behalf. Hiruzen realized that Naruto's sharp mind was something that he could use against him, and the day he found out, Hiruzen made sure that it wouldn't be a problem. Going beyond his better judgment, he had Naruto on focus. It was a special seal that would mess with the sharpest mind. That is why Naruto found it so hard to focus, so hard to regain his mentality that he once has. This limited Naruto in several different ways. He also blocked away the memories. However, now Naruto remembers everything about his parents, everything that he found out, with a bit of a help from the Kyuubi as a beast, and Naruto made a deal upon giving the beast its freedom. Naruto was angry. He was pissed off, but he kept his cool because the whole reason why Hiruzen found out was because he got too angry when he was younger and confronted the man, and he would not do that again. There was a lot for him to do, but the best thing for him right now was to play his idiotic part to make people think that he was a fool, buffoon, an idiot. Naruto despised that persona that he had taken on. He despised the idiotic part of him, but he played it well. However, he was letting some things go. Sakura had spoken to Sasuke about Naruto change. Sasuke had not paid any mind, but Sakura realized that Naruto wasn't asking her out anymore. That made her knew that something was different. He had not asked her out. As for Naruto, he was training late in the night. Naruto had a photographic memory. Therefore, he was able to remember everything that he saw in the scroll when he had stolen it to give it to Mizuki. Several techniques, as Naruto was able to learn about his nature, which was wind. He was going really advanced. However, he also learned to not summon so much clones because the backlash of the memory overload almost took him out. Naruto wanted to see how far his drive would go, how far he would push himself. That is why he caught one of the men that made his younger life a living hell. He brought the man to the forest and then proceeded to beat the living crap out of him. He beat him until he died. He beat him until his hands were bloody, until his knuckles were stained in the man's blood. To show how cold and heartless he's become, Naruto felt nothing for this village, and no one inside of it, not even the ramen family, because all of his emotions, all of his feelings, they were just a fake propaganda of a man that he was not. He wasn't that stupid, idiotic, naive child. He was not. Naruto also met the Sand team, which the fox then told him that Gaara was also a Jinchuriki, like him, but he had the weakest, the One-Tails. Jiraiya returned back to the village as he spent the first day stalking Naruto. Naruto had never taken the fact that a sensory ability would be this powerful, but it truly was, as he was able to sense the man. Jiraiya believed that Naruto might be the one that he's been searching for. The old toad had told him a prophecy where he will be the one to train the savior of this world. However, there will be one that will bring the world destruction. There was a darker half of the prophecy, but Jiraiya believed that Naruto would be the savior. At first he thought it was Minato, but that didn't work out as he thought. But he found the savior in Naruto. Well, that is what he thought. Later that night, Naruto was busting his ass training in the forest. As the time passed, he was getting better and better and better. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across to play check of yourself, and also guys, don't forget to go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado or wasting more time, how about we jump right into this? Begin now guys. Sakura was angry. Of course she was, as she saw Naruto arriving just 5 minutes late. "Naruto Baka, why are you so late?" she yelled. Naruto scratched the back of his head. "Sorry about that, Sakura-chan," he said. "My alarm didn't go off." She grumbled, always with an excuse. "Do you know how long Sasuke-kun and I have been waiting on you?" "Sorry guys," said Naruto, "but I'm here now. We can head on inside." That was all Sasuke said as they made their way. Sakura walked off as she sent Naruto a small glare for making them wait. She thought that something was unusual with Naruto, but she threw that thought out of her mind as everything seemed to return back to normal. He even asked her out. Everything seemed to be going well as the group made their way inside. Ever since he was followed by the white-haired individual, Naruto figured that someone was closing in on his secret. He couldn't afford for that to happen, so he returned full into goofy Naruto, even asking Sakura out on a date. However, he's played his part well. He's not been followed since. Everything seemed to be going rather well. In the past few months, since the wave mission, he's achieved a lot. However, he was still nowhere close to getting where he actually wanted. Meanwhile that was going on, Hiruzen had just had a conversation with the Sannin. who wanted to take Naruto on as a student even if he did not make it through the first half of the exams. Hiruzen didn't really have any problem with that, as he had not tell Jiraiya about what he had done. However, he gazed down towards his table as he was looking at several missing reports. Over the past few months, several individuals had gone missing, 4 men and 2 women. As the reports were now piling up, when the first 2 happened he believed that it was a coincidence, but they were still looking. But now, this wasn't normal, Hiruzen thought. Something was going on right in his village, and he needed to find out what was going on and put an end to it immediately. Time skip. Team 7 was walking through the large area when someone shouted, "Hey you!" They glanced up as it was Rock Lee. After passing through the first test, which was none other than a simple illusion to see who they could weed off, Lee jumped down as he started to speak to Sasuke. He wanted to fight him. Sakura, believing that they should just go on as Lee started to blow kisses towards her, she backed away and dodged all of his kisses. However, she bumped right into Naruto. "Damn it, Naruto Baka," she said. "Why were you in my way?" As Naruto simply rubbed the back of his head, apologizing. Sakura felt something strange though as she touched Naruto. As she looked at him and looked at her hand. Nah, she must be imagining things, she thought to herself, as she could swear that she feel a lot of muscles under Naruto clothing. Naruto stood there as he watched. Sasuke got the crap beaten out of him. Naruto's eyes memorized each of Lee's movements. With his photographic memory, Naruto was able to catalog Lee fighting style into his mind. His photographic memory was serving as a good indicator for learning techniques and fighting styles as well. The Sharingan was able to copy moves in a way like this, but his mind was similar as well. Granted, he didn't have all the elements, so that was not exactly cut out for him. As far as he read, what he possessed, his photographic memory was something extremely rare, and he was counting on that to help him a lot. They met Might Guy. Naruto wasn't interested with most of the things that were going on. They arrived at the door as Kakashi wished them all good luck. Kakashi was also worried about Naruto. Him and Naruto sat down and had a long talk after what happened on the bridge, the bloodshed and chaos. And he believed that his talk did well because soon after, Naruto seemed to return to his old jolly self. When Team 7 stepped inside, Bloodlust was sent towards them, as Naruto felt it. However, he wasn't bothered as he would have been. Sakura was trembling as she started to feel a bit of regret about entering the exams. It was broken though when the door opened up. "Sasuke-kun!" Ino launched herself as she landed on Sasuke's back. "So you guys are here as well, huh?" Shikamaru said in a dragged out tone. "Hey Naruto," Choji said. "Hey there Choji," said Naruto. "And you too, Shikamaru." "As lazy as ever I see," said Naruto. "Huh. So I'm gonna have to put up with a nosy, loud blonde." "Great," Shikamaru said as he sat down, leaning his head against the wall as Naruto simply smiled towards him. Teammate then came in. However, their ruckus caused someone to walk over. The footsteps were so cautious, so careful. Whoever this were, they were not exactly normal, Naruto could tell, as he studied the person. A boy with silver hair and glasses. Sasuke started to ask for information after the boy offered to help. Naruto watched as the boy insulted the sound team because he only sent one group. The sound team attacked. Something unusual happened though. With a wave of his hand, the boy was able to take down the silver hair boy known as Kabuto. As Naruto pinpointed the gauntlet on his arm, soon realizing what it was. Interesting. He's never fashioned for tools, weapons. He always uses fists, even now. But that is definitely interesting, Naruto thought. Time skip. The first part of the test was not that hard. Not even for Naruto. The reason being, Naruto had saw those answers already while reading. Over the past few months, It is not only his physical skills that he trained, but also his brain to compact and control information. However, he was supposed to be the dumb idiot, so he couldn't afford to learn it all. He was playing his part rather well, as Naruto got sliced on his cheek by Uncle Midarashi. She tried to frighten him as he played his part rather well, until they enter within the forest. So what are we gonna do, Sakura asked, looking around. They got a heaven scroll. Sasuke had the scroll. So what are we gonna do, Sakura asked, once again looking towards Sasuke. We're gonna find a team and get the Earth Scroll, Sasuke said. He was fully confident in himself to get a scroll, despite his earlier debacle with Rock Lee. As the group was making their way, Naruto paused. What's wrong, Sakura said. Sorry, I gotta take a leak, said Naruto. Sakura's face turned a bit red. Damn it, Naruto Baka, hurry up, she said. Naruto made his way around the corner as he could sense someone following them. The person came out of hiding. This person was not normal. Their chakra felt unsteady. It was like they were trying to mask it. Something was wrong here. That is when Naruto heard a hissing sound behind him. As he turned, a snake dived right towards him. Time skip. Sasuke was screaming on the ground in agony as Orochimaru, who was behind the disguise, just bit into his neck. Sakura was trembling as Orochimaru smiled towards her. Don't worry, Sasuke-kun will recover, and once he does, Orochimaru licked his lips in glee. As Sakura was afraid, she couldn't move. However, she was hit in the back of the neck as she proceeded to fall face first. Orochimaru was rather surprised. Well, not by the appearance of this boy, but overall. I was wondering when you would make an appearance. I knew that you were watching, the Sannin said. As Naruto walked over to Sasuke, Sasuke finally passed out as Naruto created two clones to pick up the both of them. Now what is this? Not going to say anything, the Sannin said, trying to figure this kid out. Not only was he watching the entire time as Orochimaru demolished his team, but he just came and knocked out his own teammate. So you're him? Yes, I am him. The Sannin Orochimaru, said to be the most powerful Sannin. I must say, I'm quite impressed. Just from the bloodlust alone, it is quite terrifying. Why, thank you, he said. But I'm dying to know. What's your deal, the Sannin said. Do you not concern yourself with your teammate's life? Naruto looked down towards them. If they can't defend themselves, that's their fault. But I don't need them to survive so I can pass this test. Please tell me what you did to the Uchiha. It's not gonna kill him. Oh, don't you worry. Young Sasuke-kun will survive this. Well, alright then. Can you do me a favor before you leave? Oh? And what's that? Orochimaru said as he was quite intrigued by this boy. The scroll that you swallowed. Can you hand it over? We need it after all, to pass the test. Given the fact that you did not try to kill any of them. You probably want us to pass. Reasons? Well, they don't really concern me, so I won't ask. Smart child, Orochimaru said. He reached up as he regurgitated the scroll. Why don't you come and have it, he said. Naruto hopped from branch to branch until he landed in front of the Sannin. Orochimaru looked at him. If I'm not mistaken, you're Naruto Uzumaki, are you not? The holder of the 9 tails. You know about that, said Naruto. I know things that you dare not even to dream, boy. Well, I'm not surprised, given the fact that you were able to sneak in here without anyone finding out. Well, can I have the scroll? So nonchalant, Orochimaru thought. This whole interaction was unusual to him. Orochimaru held his hand out. As Naruto reached, The Sannin moved with inhuman speed and placed a kunai at Naruto's throat. And why would you think? There will be no consequences to stepping towards me, the Sannin said as he placed the kunai against Naruto's throat, drawing some blood. If you wanted me dead, I would have already been dead. Smart child. But tell me, why do you seem so unbothered by this? I am the enemy. I'm not even a member in this exam. Tell me, why is that? Wait, allow me to make a guess. Is it that you despise Konoha for their treatment of you? The life of a Jinchuriki can be a horrible one. Is that it? Orochimaru said. And what if it is? Well, I want to let you know that there's better options out there than Konoha. After all, they might not see you as something special, but I can just tell by those eyes of yours. You are something special, he said. As he licked his lips, his tongue was extremely long. He slipped the scroll in Naruto's hand. Keep that in mind, Orochimaru said as he jumped away, sinking in a tree, and left. Well, it seems like you have your way out of here. It was Kurama that spoke in Naruto's mind. Naruto was already plotting on how to leave Konoha. Seems I have another way, said Naruto. To be quite truthful, he was a bit terrified of the Sannin, but he supposed he played his part well and intrigued the Sannin by his nonchalant behavior as Naruto looked toward his hand that was still shaking. But he was able to hold it off though, as ideas start to pop up in his mind. Time skip. A team from the Hidden Rain was making their way. The boy at the front with a scar on his face, he seemed to be the leader, when suddenly someone jumped down in front of them. It was none other than Naruto. The members stopped as they smirked, the leader speaking on behalf of all of them. Would you look what we have here? We've been looking for a team, but we didn't expect to come across one sole member. Tell me, boy, what scroll do you have? Naruto reached into his coat and pulled out. Ah, the Heaven Scroll. What do you know? The man said, as he pulled out a Earth Scroll. How about you hand that over, so me and my team can pass? Good, said Naruto. The last two I came across, they didn't have a Earth Scroll. You can take these if you want, Naruto said, tossing the two Heaven Scroll. The scar-faced boy caught it as he noticed there was blood on both of them when Naruto appeared in front of him. The moment his hand touched it and his gaze fell on it, he didn't have time as Naruto reached upwards, using the kunai in his hand and split his throat open. Naruto turned his body as the blood sprayed on his two comrades. They were frightened. The Kunoichi and the team tried to run, but Naruto grabbed her hair and pulled her back. He then grabbed her head before snap. The body dropped. The last member launched 3 explosive tags right towards Naruto's face. Boom! They went off. However, he heard something behind him. You know, that's not very nice. You would have just destroyed your teammates' corpses. Wouldn't you want to give them a funeral? Sorry, I forgot you're not leaving this place alive, Naruto said, holding the leader over his shoulder as he took the scroll away from his corpse and tossed it to the side. The other guy pulled out his umbrella only for Naruto to appear in front of him. Not fast enough, said Naruto, as he slammed his hand in the guy's throat. He started to choke as he dropped the umbrella. Naruto caught it and plunged it through his eye, tearing into his brain as he dropped on the ground. One might ask, how was Naruto able to get so fast in such a short period of time? Well, it's not all raw speed. With his photographic memory, Naruto was able to remember everything in the scroll. He came across a technique, flightless speed. That is what it was called, wind style. Flightless speed. It is where the user apply wind chakra to the bottom of the feet on the moment they take off. It gave them an extra boost to surprise their opponents. It made them seem like they were teleporting, but it was just the technique. Given that he had a vast amount of chakra, Naruto was using it to his disposal by using the flightless technique. However, Naruto did not know how strong he was because of the weights on him. Naruto started to open up his large orange shirt to show that he had a strange black vest on. The vest was strapped onto him. What Sakura felt was not his muscles. She felt the hard substance. It wasn't his muscles. It was the weights. Naruto had a weighted vest on, with countless weights inside. Despite that his speed was still impressive, he's been wearing this for months. To up his speed, it's gotten to the point where he barely felt it. He's gonna have to use the transformation jutsu to purchase some more weights. Time skip. What happened? Sakura said, regaining consciousness. I came back and found you and Sasuke unconscious. What happened out there? Said Naruto. Sasuke is not doing so well. Sakura jumped up. Sasuke-kan, she said. How long has he been like this? Since I found you guys. It was that snake guy, Orochimaru. He bit him on the neck. That mark, she said. Is he gonna be okay? I'm not sure, said Naruto. We're just gonna have to wait until he recovers. Some time passed when the sound team made themselves known as both Sakura and Naruto stepped outside. Don't you guys worry, we're not here for you, Zaku said as he stepped forward. Give us the Uchiha. You're not getting Sasuke-kan, Sakura said, raising her kunai. Well then, I guess we'll just have to go right through you. She gritted her teeth as she stood firm. Feisty one, isn't she, said Kin, teasing Sakura. Kin launched 3 needles towards her. Sakura jumped back. However, Kin outplayed her with speed. Appearing behind her, Sakura turned as Kin dodged and smacked her across the face, launching Sakura back, as Zaku then raised both of his hands towards Sakura and blasted her. She crashed right into the broken tree as she struggled to get back to her feet. As Zaku raised his hand so close to her, night night, Sakura eyes widened as she was blasted with a sound wave. Blood came from her ears as she was thrown back as she slammed hard into a branch and proceeded to pass out on the ground. Throughout all of that, Naruto stood there, unbothered. Dosu was worried. Something was not right here. It was this guy. He just watched his teammate got the crap beaten out of her, and yet he did not budge in the slightest. He just stood there unbothered. Now it's your turn, Zaku said, as he raised his hands. However, Naruto's gaze turned towards him as Zaku froze, until a feeling of bloodlust started to fill the entire area. Naruto stepped back as Sasuke emerged out of the broken tree. Naruto, he said, as he felt so much more powerful. The dark intentions as he noticed the 3 ninjas. Where's Sakura? These guys, Naruto said, they overpowered us. They hurt her pretty badly. Naruto rushed to Sakura's side. What the hell? Dosu said by the change in behavior. Don't worry, Sasuke said. I'll make them pay. He flashed away. King blinked so fast. Sasuke appeared and smacked her across the face with enough force to send her through several trees. You're mine! Zaku released several ear waves out of his hands, destroying where Sasuke stood. He didn't seem that tough. Wham! A fist slammed into his gut. He dropped to his knees as Sasuke flipped over and stepped into his back and gripped both of his arms. You're quite proud of these arms, aren't you? You cause a lot of destruction. Let's see how you are without them. Those who decided to get involved, however, something slammed into him as he wasn't paying attention. It was a wind attack. Sasuke did not even notice as Dosu crashed through several trees. Sasuke then started to pull as Zaku screamed. Sasuke broke both of his arms and crushed into his back with his foot. He was screaming until he passed out, the pain being too much. A beaten up Dosu came out of the forest, holding on to his chest. As Sasuke stepped towards him, "Wait! Here," he said, putting down their earth scroll. "I'll give you this. And you make me take my teammates and leave." "Why would I do that?" Sasuke asked with a smirk. "Sasuke-kun," he heard as he turned to see the awake Sakura. She looked to be in rough shape. Her voice seemed to get through him. "Don't," she said. She didn't want him to get hurt, as she proceeded to pass out once again. Sasuke seemed to recollect himself and gain control. As he looked towards Dosu, the mark receding. "Take them and get out of here. Now, before I change my mind." Dosu grabbed his teammates, his gaze looking towards Naruto as Naruto looked right back at him. As Naruto came walking over with Sakura. "She's pretty roughed up, but she'll be fine." "We have our scroll now," said Naruto, kicking away the earth scroll because he already had one. Sasuke wasn't paying attention as his mind was trying to recollect that power, that sensation. "Sasuke!" Sasuke jumped as he turned towards Naruto. "Come on, we have to get Sakura some help." Yeah, Sasuke said, as they made their way off. A distance away, Kin was pretty bruised up, as Zaku was still on the ground, out like a light. "What happened back there?" Kin said. "Why didn't you help us?" She was talking to Dosu. "That boy. Something is wrong here. He's not who he say he is." "What are you talking about?" Kin said, as Dosu was lost in his thoughts. The wind attack that hit him, it was clearly from that. He heard something as he looked up. Kin was gargling on her blood. Her body then fell as Naruto stood behind her, kunai in hand. Well, that was easy. He threw it as Dosu knocked it away and jumped away, landing on the branch. "Fast one, aren't you?" said Naruto, as he picked Zaku up. Naruto looked him over before, snap, as he broke his neck and tossed him down to the ground. "Sorry, but I can't allow you to leave this place alive. You've seen too much. I wouldn't want you to go and blab your mouth. You idiot. If you think I'm gonna fall just like them, you're sadly mistaken." He jumped off and rushed towards Naruto. Naruto simply smiled. Kamikaze. Wind explosion. Boom! His whole body exploded into a violent windstorm that tear into Dosu. Kamikaze wind clone, that was the name of it. A wind clone that can detonate. Usually the effects wouldn't be this strong, but once again Naruto had a extremely large quantity of chakra, so he didn't mind at all. Dosu crashed into a tree in agony as he was sliced up all over. Naruto landed right on his chest, fracturing a few of his ribs, causing him more internal pain. As I said, I can't allow you to go and run your mouth. Naruto held his hand out and pointed towards his forehead. Wind style. Wind drilling bullet. As stated, the technique drilled into Dosu's skull, without a shred of mercy or empathy. Along the way, as they stopped, it was a long way there. Naruto swapped back with his clone. Sakura, she wasn't doing so bad, so the problem was not that great. Time skip. They returned on the third day. Upon returning, they brought Sakura to get checked up and then get some rest. Sasuke was trying to remember everything that happened. However, his mind was a lot. There was a lot going on in there right now. Throughout all of this, Naruto was playing his part perfectly. even standing by Sakura's side, waiting for her to wake up. Sakura actually smiled when she saw him, despite her punching and everything. She was glad that she was alive. She thought that she would have died over there. Those guys were a bit too much for her. She had no idea that Naruto was just standing and watching her get the crap beaten out of her. Time skip. The big day came faster than expected after all. They only had one day and a few hours left. Everyone was lined up. Sakura was back on her feet. She still had a bit of a bruise and some injuries, but she could fight, as she said. The first match though was Sasuke versus a guy from Kabuta's team who had left earlier. As Naruto sat there watching everything, Kakashi had asked them if they were okay after taking off with Sasuke. As Naruto heard his name, he made his way down there as Kiba smirked. Who would have thought? I get to kick your ass, Naruto, he said. Don't worry, I won't hurt you that bad. Despite my great increase in strength, I know how to control myself. You know what? It would probably be best if you just give up right now. Wouldn't want to humiliate you that badly. Huh, you're not the only one that has gotten stronger, said Naruto. Akamaru started to behave strangely. What's wrong, boy? It's just Naruto. We got this. Yet Akamaru seemed to not want to fight. Seems something is wrong with him, said Naruto as he stepped forward, causing Akamaru to back up. Akamaru whined and barked towards Kiba. Kiba was confused that Akamaru seemed to fear Naruto for some reason. Think of the animal jungle. A prey would always be scared of the predator, and they could feel it. Animal instincts were far sharper than humans. Despite Naruto being calm, Akamaru was sensing it. The true predator of the match. Alright boy, you can sit this one out, Kiba said. Not sure what was wrong with Akamaru. It's not like I'm gonna lose this. As he proceeded to make his way down there, Shino was confused. Kurenai was also confused as well. Hinata was conflicted by who to cheer for. Kiba was her teammate, but she was obsessed with Naruto. Seems Akamaru didn't want to partake. Don't worry about him, Kiba said. I'm not sure what is wrong with him, but it's not about you. Kiba heard Akamaru whining. The dog was trying to stop him from partaking in this match. Are the both of you ready? The proctor asked. Alright, begin. Kiba rushed forward with the intention to end this. He swiped as Naruto dodged. Swiped again as Naruto dodged. However, Kiba ducked as he kicked away Naruto's leg before punching him square across the face. Naruto crashed as Kiba jumped forward. It's over! As Naruto threw a smoke bomb up. What the hell? Poof! You fool, Kiba's voice came out. You can't get me with that. I can smell you. Naruto was knocked out of the smoke bomb as he crashed on the ground. Just as I thought. Kurenai said, it's over. As Kiba came out of the smoke, that is when Naruto poofed away. A clone? Kiba turned as Naruto's fist cracked in his face. Blood and spit flew out of his mouth. Kiba stepped back in agony as Naruto slammed his fist in his guts. Kiba spat up blood. Naruto pulled his fist back. However, he paused. As he ran and shoulder tackled Kiba down to the ground, he flipped him over and put his hand behind him. It's over, said Naruto as Kiba tried to get up, but Naruto restrained him on the ground. Kiba was still in agonizing pain, shocked to his loss. So was Kurenai. Hiruzen watched the match, judging Naruto's attitude. Naruto seemed to be doing fine though. You're not the only one that has been training, said Naruto. I've gotten a lot stronger as well. It was over for Kiba as Naruto completely took him out of the match. The last fist that Naruto would have thrown would have fractured Kiba's nose and probably bust his mouth clean open. The first two fists were heavily restrained by Naruto, as he didn't want to show too much brutality. However, people seemed to be agreeable with this winning. And the way that he won was a good way. After all, he did not show off anything too flashy. The rest of the matches did not concern Naruto one bit. Just to see how pathetic his own team was, Sakura tying with Ino. Even Ino was more pathetic because Sakura was not from a named clan. Truly and utterly pathetic. They were given 1 month. Kakashi told Naruto that he had someone to train him because he would be focusing on Sasuke. Naruto whined like he would eventually do, and then accepted those terms, saying that he would surpass Sasuke, doesn't matter what, and he will win the finals. The man that Kakashi got to teach him was Ebisu. However, plans were thrown out when Ebisu was knocked out by Jiraiya. Naruto was not surprised that he showed up. He was rather close to the 4th Hokage, being his sensei. However, Naruto did not know if there was any more relation, but the man seemed to be strangely quickly agreed to teach him though. Naruto played his childish act, and Jiraiya agreed to teach him, even let him sign the summoning contract. This was a problem, but Naruto could not refuse. He spent the week with Jiraiya and then Gamabunta, where the Toad would not allow him to become a summoner unless he hang on, and Naruto did hang on. The rest of the week went by, into the other one and then the last. Jiraiya barely teaching him anything. If this was what an excuse of a sensei was, the man was no better than Kakashi. Maybe all the people that taught him just believed that his time was for wasting. He was a goddamn Sannin. A Sannin. And yet, what the hell did he do? Teach him how to summon? He didn't want any goddamn toads. Stupid, idiotic frogs. He didn't give a damn about that summoning contract. He never wanted it in the first place. However, he realized that it was going to be a problem he was linked to these toads. Naruto spent majority of the time of the month focusing on Fuinjutsu. Naruto has been focusing a lot on that. He's divided his clones into sections. Taijutsu. Genjutsu was the hardest one because of his chakra outputs. Ninjutsu and Fuinjutsu. Because of his photographic memory, Naruto was learning extremely fast in Fuinjutsu. The theory was easy, but the practice was a bit harder, but he had 1,000 clones at his disposal, so he had no problem. However, he was sure, if it wasn't for the fox, he would probably be dead right now. Because of his photographic memory, everything that he learned from the clones, that also saved itself into his mind. Most of the time he had nosebleeds. The fox ensured him that it will be there to make sure that his mind don't overrun and implode upon itself. So Naruto pushed himself again and again and again when he came across something about summoning. This was good. It was what he was looking for. So with that, the month went by without any hassle. Jiraiya pretending like he did not even know him. Naruto wondered what was the relationship with his father though, because the man seemed to want to train him and even want to take him on as a student, but that was not going to happen. When the big day finally came, the place was bustling and hype with activities. Many people making bets. As the matches started, the Kazekage was observing along with the Hokage. The first match was Shikamaru versus Temari. The next was Naruto versus Neji. This match went easy. Naruto downplaying his skills greatly, making Neji believe that he did not stand a chance in hell against him, as the both of them clashed against each other violently. However, Neji seemed to be superior in every terms of the word, until the final moment, where Naruto tricked him with a clone and came from underneath the ground, and with an uppercut he ended the match. Many spectators were shocked in disbelief of this action. After all, Neji was supposed to be a prodigy. How did this boy pull this off? Naruto went back up to the box as he was waiting for his perfect opportunity. There was too many eyes all over now, and he would not make it too far. He needed a distraction. Sasuke finally arrived. Kankuro did not fight Shino because he quit. No, that was strange. Why come all the way just to quit? That made absolutely no sense. As Naruto focused towards where the Kazekage was, and he felt that same feeling like he did in the forest when Orochimaru was disguised. Wait, could that be? Naruto wondered curiously. If that was the case, this might be the distraction that he was waiting for. Yes, it might be. As Sasuke faced off against Gaara, as Sasuke delivered a brutal blow with his Chidori, something happened. Feathers started to fall. Naruto felt it, but he quickly dispelled the jutsu. As he hopped up to the roof, chaos started to take place all over Konoha. That brought a smile to Naruto's face. He summoned a clone before he jumped off, as the clone pretended to fall asleep. With that, everything started to take its perfect order. Sasuke went after Gaara as a team was sent to back him up. Naruto was sent on that team. In the end, it was only him and Sakura that made it. Gaara was full on craze by the time they got there. Sasuke was about to die, until the clone came and kicked Gaara right in the face. Sakura rushed to Sasuke's side. The clone then ran into the woods. Gaara chased after him. The clone then proceeded to dispel, and another Naruto came from the foliage. Hey, I'm right here. They went back out in the open as they started to fight. Sakura was worried as Sasuke tried to get up, when Sakura gasped. You shouldn't have gotten in my way. And now, Mother will enjoy feasting on your blood. Naruto. Sakura screamed as she saw Gaara's claw hand rip through Naruto's chest. Gaara tore his hand down as blood sprayed from Naruto, leaving a gaping hole in his chest. Sasuke was shocked, baffled. Gaara started to laugh as Naruto's body collapsed down to the ground. They were frozen. And now for you two! He jumped forward only for a massive tsunami made from wind to slam down on them. Sakura and Sasuke were thrown, crashing through trees as they did. Gaara jumped back and braced himself. When he blinked in shock. What? I killed you, he said. Standing there was Naruto perfectly unharmed. A blood clone. A special Fuinjutsu in the making. It was called a blood clone, able to simulate a real death. As Naruto placed his hand down on it, its body burst into blood and flowed into Naruto's open palm where he had sliced. As it then proceeded to heal, Naruto cricked his neck. Yes, you did, in a sense. It doesn't matter. I'll simply rip you apart once again, said Gaara. Sorry, I don't have enough time. Naruto created 10 clones. They shot forward at inhuman speed. Gaara started to destroy each and every one of them until the real Naruto used his wind gliding trick. He appeared in front of Gaara and slammed his hand on his gut, activating the 5-pointer seal. Gaara immediately loosed the sand around his body, his eye returning back to normal as Naruto sealed off the essence of the one tail. Gaara was now stable as he looked around, when Naruto dropped his fist into his skull, knocking him out clean. The seal on his stomach started to tremble, but it intertwined with the seal on him, keeping the one tail at bay despite Gaara being unconscious. The seal was cutting off the supply, refusing to let the Biju chakra contain and control Gaara's body. Naruto summoned a clone as the clone picked up Gaara and dashed off at tremendous speed. Naruto then vanished. As he was running through the foliage, he went through hand sign, 52 to be quite exact. He slammed his hand on his chest when he stopped. Naruto's entire body trembled in pain as a seal appeared in his chest. His heart then stopped. Yes, his heart then stopped. As Naruto died for a second. The next second though, his heart was hit by the seal as Naruto's eyes snapped open. He gripped his chest and took several deep breaths. "Oh," he said, taking a deep breath. "That was risky, you damn brat. You could have killed the both of us." "It was a risky move I had to take." "Would you mind explaining to me why? Are you taking Shikaku with you?" "Don't worry. I just need some of his chakra and about our deal," said Naruto. "When I do release you, I'm gonna need you to leave a small amount of your chakra with me." "Why is that?" the fox said. "If I'm going to break my limits and go beyond what I truly desire, I'm gonna desire some of your chakra to do so. I have a plan, but don't worry. This will not involve you or the rest of the tail beasts being controlled by anyone. In fact, when I'm done, you all will be free," said Naruto. "What you do with your life from then on is up to you guys. No longer will you be confined by humanity." "But before that though, I need a peace offering," Naruto said. As he made his way with Gaara after all the clone had dispelled so, right in his path. Time skip. Naruto wasn't quite sure where they would take to leave Konoha, but a man with 1,000 clones did not have to worry about finding his opponents. The Zone 4 with Orochimaru was leaving the area. Orochimaru was not looking so good. Hiruzen Sarutobi was dead, but he lost any mobility of his arms. However, the group came to a stop when someone came from nowhere. They hid their presence rather well. Naruto stepped out into the clearing. "A Konoha ninja. Don't worry, I'll handle this." It was Kitamari that spoke. "I'm not here to fight." "Then why are you here, shit for brains?" Teiwaya said, straight off with the insult. "I'm here to take you up on that offer," said Naruto. "Whoa, you're not looking so good." The Sannin was not in the mood, as his dangerous gaze fell on Naruto. "So, you wish to accompany me and my group," he said, acting like he was at full strength, when he was clearly not. "Yes, and given the fact that you're running, I figure that you don't have much time, but I do have a peace offering for you. Upon you allowing me to join your forces," Naruto said. "The One Tails." "What?" Orochimaru said, narrowing his gaze. "I kidnapped him. He's now under my control. So what do you say? You gonna allow me to join?" said Naruto. Orochimaru realized they were wasting time as he looked at the boy in front of him. "Fine," he said. "However, not like this." "I understand," said Naruto. "Do your worst." "Drobo," Orochimaru said. Drobo understood as he hit Naruto in the back of the neck, knocking him out. "Before that though," said Orochimaru, "check if there's any seal on him. Any tracking seal." Orochimaru was not playing any games. He had to be cautious given his state. After checking the boy, with Seikon doing so as well, they found nothing. So they took him along with them. He had no idea where he was going, and there was no one around to see or find out where they were heading either. Time skip. When Naruto woke up, he was inside of a room, shackled down to a bed. There was a strange cuff on his hand. This wasn't any ordinary cuff, as he saw the Fuinjutsu engraved inside of it. "Hey, is anyone out there?" said Naruto. But no one responded. "Hey, I'm awake." "Be quiet," a voice said, as the door opened up to show a standard sound ninja. "Our master will speak to you when he's ready. You know, you shouldn't be talking to someone like me like that. If you hadn't known, I'm kind of a big deal," said Naruto. Tuh, big deal my ass. I don't know who the hell you are, or why they brought you here, but you gotta respect the title. I'm a sound ninja and you're not. So you respect the title. Why don't you come and meet me, said Naruto. That's it, you little shit. Also, Naruto ducked as he wrapped his chain around the guy's neck and pulled him down, slamming his head into the bedside. Now, what were you saying, Naruto asked, with a smile on his face. The sound ninja looked terrified. Don't worry, I'm not gonna kill you. I just need you to do exactly what I say. Moments later, Naruto exits the room with the unconscious sound ninja, as Naruto simply made him do what was necessary to break the seal, while he had nothing on any knowledge about Fuinjutsu Naruto had, so he kind of used him as a puppet. The seal wasn't a hard one to break. As Naruto walked down the halls, making his way, he had absolutely no idea where he was. You went into this without a plan, and now you have no idea where you are. That was rather stupid of you, Kurama said. And who said I didn't have a plan? You should know this by now, said Naruto. I always have a plan, and it should be happening anytime now. A distance away, with the body of Gaara. A seal on Gaara's chest. Activate. A time-lapse seal. Summoning a clone of Naruto. This wasn't an ordinary clone, this was a blood clone. Already knowing what was his purpose, it picked up the body of Gaara and made its way off to fulfill said purpose. Time skip. At the Hidden Leaf, Kakashi Hatake was baffled. He was quite busy when Sakura came to him, tears in her eyes. Sasuke was out of it. He seemed a bit unresponsive, quiet. Kakashi was shocked when she said those words. Naruto was dead. Kakashi couldn't believe what he was hearing. The information got to Jiraiya, who immediately took the scroll off his back and opened it. When he saw Naruto's name, gone. It was gone. Jiraiya was shocked. He was shocked. He was unresponsive for a moment. His sensei just died, and now the child that he was supposed to protect and watch over and keep safe is now also dead. Sakura was pretty broken up, as much as she punched and hit and always cursed at Naruto. He always tried to protect her. He always asked her out on a date. Why couldn't she have just said once to make him feel happy? But no, she always belittled him. What kind of monster was she? The thought of death had never crossed her mind for Naruto. He was always saying how he was going to become the Hokage. No one else knew, but they will soon. He was gone. And that Gaara kid, he killed him. However, the Sand siblings went home without their brother because they could not find him, and things were getting bad, so they had to flee. But Naruto was dead, to the recollection of the Leaf Shinobis, and with Jiraiya confirming it with the scroll. That just showed that he was actually dead. Time skip. Naruto stood in front of the man, as calm as ever. Orochimaru did not seem to be in that good of a condition. I suppose there's a lot that we have to talk about, said Naruto. Time skip. The funeral for Hiruzen Sarutobi went off. It seems that the heavens themselves was weeping. The rookies were rather shocked when they heard the news. Each of them had various reactions. Shino did not show it much. He was saddened to hear that though. Naruto was a pretty cool guy, and besides, he didn't judge him for having bugs when the other kids thought that it was weird. Hinata was devastated. At first she refused to believe it. The girl broke down and fell unconscious. When she finally accepted the truth, when everyone told her. Kiba, despite his loss to Naruto, saw Naruto as a friend. He was a pretty cool dude to hang out with. Shikamaru was questioning this whole ninja thing. Both him, Naruto, and Choji used to hang out a lot when they were younger. So this came as a shock. Ino felt bad for Sakura. She didn't know Naruto that well, but he didn't deserve this. Sasuke kept his emotions on the inside and bottled them up. Like there was none, but there was a lot of emotions that the Uchiha had, but he refused to show them to the world. He just kept them deep and buried inside. Yes, the team was rather shaken by that. None more so than Jiraiya and Kakashi, the ones that should have been there for him, but they were not. The most messed up part about it was they could not find his corpse. Damn it. But this was problematic. The Jinchuriki of Konoha was dead, killed by the Jinchuriki of the Sun. This would not stand. This was problem. Not just for them, but for everyone. As a council meeting was going to be happening today. Yes, Konoha lost many shinobis. They lost their Hokage, but they also lost their greatest weapon and their greatest deterrent. The Ninetales was no longer with them. They couldn't afford to let people know that. While that was going on, Naruto was having a conversation with his Sanin, unaware to the world. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification they posted. Remember, share all of your friends in social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.